Hello everybody. While I'm exploring up a small dirt road here in the mountains, I spotted something up in the forest. I wonder if you can see it. It's something worth exploring. Although we have to explore it with a little bit of caution. I'll explain why. There it is. Can you see it? It looks like just a regular forest up there. But if you look closely, you'll see off in the distance there. Do you see the stacked up bits of wood? There they are. All stacked up like that. That's deliberate. And I'm going to go show it to you and explain to you. And maybe you'll even get to see what it is and what it's doing. We have to step off the track. Now, it's a good time of year to be bushwhacking. The giant spiders aren't out yet. In another 3 weeks or so, another month, this forest will be littered with giant spider webs. The golden orb weavers will be everywhere, and the enormous huntsman spiders will be jumping from bush to bush. So it's a good time to be walking through the forest without getting attacked by the big spiders. Here we go. Oh, here's a kind of a hint at what we're after. Take a look at this. This is a dead branch. Now, the forests here in Japan are quite moist and humid, although everything's dry right now. This is a pretty wet area. The rainy season's coming too. And these are, of course, fungus growing off of this dead branch right here. And that's a nice clue to what we're going to find up here. Okay, look at these pieces of wood. These are cut pieces of trees that grow in this forest, and they've been laid out here specifically under this deep canopy to remain quite dark. And there's not a lot of sunlight that gets through here. Now, a farmer did this, a farmer that lives in this area, and he did it for a very specific reason. He's cultivating something here, and here we can see exactly what it is. Take a look at this. Do you know what these are? Well, if you're a fan of Japanese gourmet foods, you probably recognize these as Shiitake mushrooms. Yes, indeed. These are shiitake, the delicious mushrooms that are used in so many Japanese meals. My wife likes them grilled. Some people like them in stews. They're a bit of a delicacy overseas, but I run across them quite often here in the forest here. The farmers, what they do is they drill little holes. You can see one right here. See this hole right here? And they plant a plug, a little bit of a shiitake seed in there. Here's another hole right here. Where is it? Right here. And they put a little seed in there, and then they put the pieces of wood out here in the forest, rather than like this in the dark, and the seeds will sprout into these shiitake mushrooms. Isn't that cool? You can get a look at the underside here. Isn't that neat? Wow. And that's what they do. And then the farmer will then harvest them and then take them to market or sell them at little roadside stands. Lots and lots of shiitake all over the place, all along up here. Isn't this cool? More shiitake growing over here. Great. Now, I'm going to make a careful retreat and get away from this. Now, let me give you a point of advice as we move away from the shiitake here. When you come exploring in the mountains like this, if you see something like this, I don't recommend that you approach it as I've just done. I did this specifically in order to share it with you. But normally I stay clear of these things. The reason being that the farmers up here are sensitive to poachers. Yes, indeed. Sad to say, but some people actually do come up and take the farmer's produce. It's pretty rare in this part of Japan. I don't really have much to worry about. Nobody does that right here. But in other parts of Japan, I've heard of conflicts and problems with that. So if you're out wandering around in the forests in Japan, one piece of advice I'd offer you is if you're wandering around a dirt track like I am, stay on the road for the most part if you're around a village. The farmers often have produce wild, what they call mountain vegetables, out in the woods, and they're a little bit particular about those. And if they see you wandering around out in the forest like that, they may think you're after their little bits of goodies. But for the most part, you're okay. Well, thanks a lot for coming along and taking a look at the shiitake mushrooms growing in the mountains here in Japan. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.